Well, salutations! Good morning, good afternoon, and/or good evening, depending on where you find yourself located within this universe. Our name is Ultrasonic Blur, and welcome back! Last time, well, last time we kind of might have sort of gotten declared guilty. I mean, it wasn't intended to be that way. It just kind of ended up happening that way, which, well, you know, that wasn't great. That wasn't the wasn't the plan, but that happened. And then, of all people, Larry was like, "Hey, no, I was there that night, and some things didn't quite make sense." So now Larry's on the stand, and to be perfectly honest, we're not exactly sure quite whether that's a good thing or not. It very much could be, but, well, we're not entirely sure whether or not that's actually going to be the case. So let's go and find out whether it will, won't, or is or isn't, because, well, we're back in trial. So without much further ado, oh boy, let's hope Larry's not going to put his foot in it.
Welcome back. Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything that you saw on the night of December 24th.
Right. Leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Oh, this can only go well. Von Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. Oh boy, Larry. The night of the murder. That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something, and, I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back at the rental shop dock. Just then I was thinking about going home. I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home.
That was an unusually vague testimony, even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but forward, Nick. Yeah, that's also what's a bit worrying. That night you were out on the boat on a lake.
Something wrong, Mr. Wright?
There was so many things wrong, I don't know where to begin. Well, okay. First of all, what time was it? Oh, it was after 11 when I went out onto the boat. By that time, everyone had gone home for the night. So I waited until the coast was clear, so to speak. And why were you out on a boat at such a late hour? I was looking for something and I, found it. Looking for something? Yeah.
Mr. Butts, what was it you were looking for? What the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy.
That's surprisingly close to the truth, in a sense.
This is all irrelevant. Let's get it over with.
So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. Around what time was that? Well, let's see. I figured I was out searching for about an hour. I guess it was around 12, yeah.
You're not sure?
Hey, don't give me that face. I'm not sure I'm not some sort of human sundial, okay? People use watches these days, Larry. Watches. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. You heard one gunshot. Where did the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know.
Did you look out at the lake?
Yeah, I looked. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. Wasn't there a boat on the lake?
Order! Order! Well, Mr. Butts?
Whoa, whoa. Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Oh, okay, no problem. That's just the most important part of this case! So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. Yeah, the fact that you had a single gunshot, we need to press this. So you only heard one bang, correct? Yeah. Huh. Well, Nick? It was a pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? I guess I should just start with working on the contradictions. Sorry. I wish I could be more helpful. I wish I could call my sister. Yeah, well, you know. I looked out of the way. So after the single gunshot went home, present. We have testimony that says there was 2 gunshots. 2 sounds of the gunshot just after midnight. Wait a sec, Larry. What? You only heard 1 bang. Are you sure? That's what I said. But Miss Lotta Hart has testified yesterday that she heard 2 bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard 2 gunshots that night. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please! Huh? You know, something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So, you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay?
Mr. Butts?
What?
You only heard 1 gunshot. Are you sure?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure.
Huh?
Not sure? How could you be not sure? Yeah, well, I, might have missed the other gunshot. I was, listening to something else? Something else? My radio, dude! With my headphones! What?!
Order! Order! And stop that booing! Mr. Butts, you were listening to the radio with your headphones?
Yeah, so what? That a crime? I listen to my radio. Everybody listens to the radio. What's the big deal?
Mr. Von Karma, your opinion? Waste of time. I do not accept this witness nor his shoddy testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony?
No, we need him to continue. Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony.
Bah! Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who does not know when he's lost. Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony, and be sure to include details like your radio.
Right, leave it to me. I wouldn't if there was any other way out of this, believe me. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an old request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud like. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ said when I heard it too.
You were listening to your radio at a high volume?
Yeah, what's the big problem? Can a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is.
Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio. True enough, it is difficult to believe this testimony.
Wait, Your Honor! The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot.
Excuse me, a DJ?
An announcer. The guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is, when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Wright.
I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. Oh boy. Larry, please. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. Don't care. So I was listening to an all request show on the radio, see? Fantastic. We can work out roughly what the time was, because there's obviously a record or something. Someone must have a record. If you can remember what was said and anything about any of the songs close by, we can pinpoint the time. Do you by any chance remember the name of the program you were listening to?
This has nothing to do with the case, Your Honor. Objection sustained. The witness was listening to the radio. That is all we need know. Tell us, Mr. Butts, how loud was your radio set to that night?
You were listening to it real booming loud, like. Real booming loud? Yeah, you know.
And you had headphones on?
Yep.
I wouldn't think you could hear anything going on outside at all.
You sure you heard that gunshot? Could you prove that? No, of course you can't. Nah, I can't prove it. But I remember that moment real clear. I mean, while I was talking about it, it came back real clear to me, you know? I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it. What were they saying? What did she say?
Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could be knowing what the DJ said to us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'd allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care.
We should care. It's the only valuable thing he said. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should.
Why?
Well, how do you know if we don't ask,
Fine, very well. Mr. Butts, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot?
Just when she said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," I heard the gunshot. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Wait. This was taken on Christmas Day. If Larry heard the gunshot, that's the second photo! The second gunshot that we've seen! This adds everything up! We have a pistol that was fired 3 times! We have 2 shots taken out on the lake, and 1 before then! Everything lines up! Larry heard a gunshot at 11:50 p.m. That's exactly what we saw here! Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Kira Hishitori, salutations and welcome. Congratulations on your first and redeeming of it. We hope you find yourself well. And if not, then we hope whatever is ailing you is easy and quietly fixed. And if not, well, we hope we can take your mind off it. Huh? What's with the scary face, What's with the face, dude? You're looking kind of scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you know better I don't. You better know I don't scare that easy. Me lucky's for now, but coming to say howdy. Explosive diarrhea. Oh, goodness, that is most unfortunate. That said, we hope that this can, well, make things go smoother and easier, as it were. Either way, thank you for the lurk. It is a pleasure to see you here, miss.
Is something the matter, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," when he heard the gunshot.
Indeed, and?
Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve.
Well, that would indeed seem to be the case, yes.
But he should have heard that gunshot after midnight. This photograph is irrefutable proof of this fact.
Let's see. What was the time on this photo taken when the gun triggered Miss Hart's camera? 12/25, 00:15. 15 minutes after midnight on Christmas Day.
This was a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Order! Order! What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. Very sus, as the kids would say nowadays.
What?
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butcher's claim he heard the gunshot before midnight?
Larry's right. Larry is not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight.
Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight.
We have it right here. Look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m.
Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture.
Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It's why this photograph exists at all!
What do you mean?
Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises, hence why we were concerned about it existing in the first place.
Ah!
Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve.
Indeed, it would seem that this is the case. Then, where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken?
Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera was also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night, there were two sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them.
Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes? There is no proof that there was a loud noise, that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why, the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera.
Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear!
Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any.
Well, yeah, we have a gun that was fired 3 times. 2 from from after midnight and 1 from before. This is my evidence.
The murder weapon?
Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When then was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Harry heard just before midnight.
Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, This leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, and another 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you? Why?
Oh no, I'd better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes. Ah! What's wrong, Nick? I have it! I have it! Huh? Remember the case with the steel samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya. Yes? Faking that someone was... If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch. I'm gonna run with it. Right. I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. Sure. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Wright?
The testimony we have just had now clears up this entire case. Yeah, we've all assumed that it was Hammond in the boat.
What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So, you finally realized the truth? There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself.
Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did that shooting.
Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on the lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat.
We've all made one big assumption here, Von Karma, that it was Robert Hammond who was in that boat. Can Edgeworth verify conclusively that the man was Robert Hammond?
I admit it is hard to imagine another possibility.
Yes, but that assumes that the victim was shot at the 15 minutes after midnight.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence at the time of the shooting. The timestamps on the photo says 0015.
But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth can be innocent.
Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the 2 men on the boat are.
Edgeworth and the murderer. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:15, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth, which is why Edgeworth thought he was still alive at that time.
What? Are you serious?
Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to that lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place.
I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous. Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then.
The murderer's name? Right. We don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name.
You don't know? Bah! Again, you waste my time.
I don't know because he never told us. The murderer in this is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:15, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond.
The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then.
Why would he have to go all the way out onto the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of the crime was not on the boat?
What? Well then, where did the murderer take place?
I've got to show the judge where the murder really took place. It has to be somewhere out around here. Around by the boat shop. Larry said he heard it when he put the boat back in, so it has to be around here. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing.
Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime?
Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. Yeah, he was out searching on a boat. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat, searching for something. Then he came back in, he finds it, he returns the boat. Then, just as he starts to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would you be if you had just returned a boat?
Well, the boat shop.
Exactly. Slowly piecing something together.
Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning.
Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? I mean, we've only got... look, we're kind of piecing this together as we go, but it makes sense, and if it makes sense, then we just gotta do it. But not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning, and I take it slow, I might be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. At that point, he shot him. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then, he got into the boat with Edgeworth and went out onto the middle of the lake.
Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright?
That would be the boat shop caretaker. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone?
Details.
Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice.
Well, he wanted to create a witness. The first shot was designed to make everyone look at the lake. The second shot was to see someone falling off of the boat into the lake. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor.
Create a witness?
The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard that shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, which makes sense because if you can see from this image, the person who fell was likely the person who pulled the who rowed the boat based on the oar's positioning, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him.
I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other.
The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice, to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his boat. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Why is everyone so quiet? Please? Anyone? This sounds right, okay? Come on, this is right?
Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly.
Oh, thank you, Judge, for agreeing, at least looking into this matter. Please, 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 please.
Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant Miles Edgeworth a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand.
Oh, Edgy Poo.
Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said?
Yes.
Well, why did you go to the lake that night?
What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me.
Something important?
I'm sorry, I can't say what it was.
Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask you to remain quiet.
The witness has disappeared! He isn't at the boat shop either!
What?
Well, what should I do?
Find him quickly! We cannot allow him to get away!
Yeah. Great. The one person we need to...
Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared! A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned.
We're not guilty for another day. Oh boy. Yay, Nick! You did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out there. Sure, once I sifted through his, unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. But what do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now, and I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No. There's so little time left. I want to tell you, to get it off my chest, but... I can't make up my mind. It's okay, Edgeworth. Love is love. You can say that. It's okay. The subtext is very clear, okay? Plus, we're pretty sure that Phoenix is the same way. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. Oh, that's not great. That's really not great. Edgeworth! What do you mean a nightmare of a murder that you committed? We're just about to get you off the trial for one of them, and now you're gonna go ahead and tell me there's a second one? Why? Why would you do this to me? What was Mr. Edgeworth talking about? A memory of a crime that I committed. A memory of murder. Do you really think Mr. Edgeworth killed? I don't believe it. Not Edgeworth. Some painful memory has been troubling him recently, but he'd never take someone's life. Never! Nick... Yo! How's everyone doing? Larry! Gee, Larry! What do you think of my performance today? I had him swooning in the aisles, huh, Maya? More like fainting in the defendant's stand. Swooning? Me? Oh, yes. I do remember feeling faint. Right on! Tell me the truth. Well, it was love at first sight, right? What about you and Fiancé? Right, Nick? Me? Well, maybe my heart skipped a beat or two. Ugh, I think you can do better than that. Come on, I saved Edgeworth in there, dude! Edgy! You guys should be bowing before me! Yeah! Bow before your hero! Larry, Larry, you did the right thing. That's enough. Larry, you really helped us out in that trial today. You did! If you weren't there, Larry, I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth would have been found guilty. But seriously, Nick, that boatyard caretaker guy is pretty suspicious. But Edgy ain't off the hook yet. Way to spoil the mood, Larry. Hey, I'm just a guy sitting in the audience, you know? But from where I was sitting, Edgy seemed pretty... edgy. I mean, can you really know he's telling the truth about that night? Yeah... Nick? I don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to believe in you two until the end. Us two? Edgeworth and who else? You mean me, right? Nah, he means me, right, Nick? Yeah, you, Larry. Not me. But why you, Larry? Huh? Actually, yeah. Why me, Nick? Enough with the silent treatment. Nick, why do you trust Mr. Edgeworth so much? I mean, he's changed recently, true, but when we first met him, he was kind of a jerk, don't you think? Yes, but you didn't know him back then. Back when he wanted to become a defense attorney. Wait, was that when you two were classmates? Yes, in grade school. They saved me, Miles and Larry. They saved me, and I'll never forget it. That's why I became a defense attorney, you know? But what? Hey, Larry, what's he talking about? Huh? Sorry. I kind of forgot. Okay, Nick, out with it. I'm going to hear this story today, and that's final. Okay, calm. It's kind of a long story, so hang in there. It was at the very end of 3rd grade. I was on trial. A class trial. Ooh, strange. Why do I get the image of a monochrome bear when I think of that? A class trial? A class trial. You remember, Larry? Spring, end of 3rd grade? A kid in our class got his lunch money stolen. Lunch money? Our school was really small. Every month, kids would bring in an envelope with money for lunch from home. Huh, I see. Anyway, this kid's envelope disappeared, with $38 still inside. Oh, yeah! Now that you mention it, I do remember that! Can you see why... I can see why you'd forget, though. You were out of school that day. Anyway, the envelope had been stolen during PE class. I was coming down with a cold, so I'd skipped PE that day. I was the only one not in class. So, they thought you did it. Yeah, the kids in class said I should be put on trial. Trial? So the next day, we held a classroom trial with me as the defendant. I didn't do it! Guilty! He did it! Guilty! It was you! Give the money back! You're such a meanie! No one will play with you. Just admit it. You can't hide the truth. Tell us the truth. We're not going to play with you anymore. Yeah, no borrowing my razor. He shouldn't be allowed in the Libre race. Oh, goodness. They're just everywhere. Every kid. Now, Phoenix, you know you shouldn't steal people's money. It's not right. In the end, even the teacher thought I'd done it. Go over and apologize, Phoenix. I didn't know what was happening. I was so sad, I couldn't stop crying. Everyone was staring at me like I'd done it. I tried to apologize. I went to where the boy whose money had been stolen was sitting, and that's when it happened. Objection! He shouldn't have to apologize. The only thing that belongs in a trial is evidence. Anything else has no place. You should all be ashamed, amateurs. Miles? It wasn't you who stole my money, was it? Even though he thought... Miles... No... Then you shouldn't apologize. Everyone's been shouting you did it, but no one has any proof. That's why Your Honor... That is why, Your Honor, this boy is innocent. But Miles, it was your money that was stolen. Yeah, he did it, he's the one. We don't need proof. Make him say sorry. Why don't you all just shut up? Larry. This is always how it is. Everyone ganging up and picking on one person. Just think how he feels. He said he didn't do it, so he didn't do it. The only... Very well. I will replace the money myself. This class trial is over. That's how it happened. After that, the three of us were the best of friends. Wow, I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea either. I mean, I forgot. That's when I learned what it meant to be alone. Totally alone, without a friend in the world. You did a good thing, Larry. Yeah, well, I was just lucky that I took the day off from school. If I'd been there, they would have thought I'd done it. So, I took it kind of personally, you see. When something smells, it's usually the butts. After the trial. Anyway, Edgeworth and I talked after the class trial. That's when I heard his father was a defense attorney. I remember his eyes would shine when he talked about his father. I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my father. A famous defense attorney. Then, a few months later, he suddenly transferred to another school. The DL6 incident. Right. I'm not sure, but the transfer probably had to do with his father's death. It's so sad. It was several years later when I heard Edgeworth's name again. There was an article about him in the newspaper. The headline was something like, "Dark Suspicions of a Demon Attorney." Fabricating evidence, manipulating testimonies, covering up facts. The article said he'd do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. But why? What happened? I mean, that's not the Edgy I used to know at all. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I tried to get in touch with him, I don't know how many times. He never replied. I guess he didn't want to see his old friends. I couldn't just drop it though. I wanted to meet him, to learn why he had become who he became. That's when I decided. Wait, you don't mean... That's why? That's why you became a defense attorney? To meet Edgeworth? If I was a defense attorney, I knew he'd have to meet me whether he wanted to or not. In court. Edgeworth believed in me, and I believed in him. He's in pain, and no one's on his side. I'm the only one who knows the real Edgeworth. I'm the only one who can help him. Whoa, Nick? So is that why you helped me out for free? Well, no, that's because you wouldn't pay us! Yes. I helped you because I believed in you. Except I don't remember saying I'd do it for free. Oh, Nick! Nick! Nick? We have to save Mr. Edgeworth if it's the last thing we do, okay? Right. This may very well be it. First, there's that rental boat shop caretaker. We need to find out who or what he is. I'd settle for who. I guess I can clean out some of this evidence that I no longer need. Okay, let's go. Alright. Take care, Larry. Could you mind the place? Let us know if we get any clients. Oh, we could use more than one client every couple of months. That'd be great. Alright. Hey, pal. Long time no see. Oh, Detective Gumshoe. Close one today, eh? I got so worked up I snapped my tie in half. Sorry about that. No problem, pal. Thanks to you, we know who really did it. You mean the boat shop caretaker? Look, I'll make you a promise. I'll have that scoundrel in my custody by trial time tomorrow. Come what may. It's my duty to you as a police officer. Now I'm off to catch a criminal. Okay. Detective Gumshoe sure is, active today. Oh, one other thing, pal. No one can go into the woods today. The woods? Where Lotta was camping? The woods are off limits to camping, and apparently the park ranger found out. He got pretty mad, so no one could go in for a while. I guess Lotta's in a lot of trouble. Anyway, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Oh, good. Well, at least we know where we can't head, but we know where we want to head. We want to check. Huh? The steel eyesore is missing. Eyesore? Looks like the hot dog stand is closed too. I guess Larry's too busy worrying about Mr. Edgeworth to show up for work. Yeah, well that's fine. We want to head into the rental shop, see if we can find anything here. That old caretaker got away. Yep. I never imagined he might be the real murderer. Ahem! Grossberg? I know that clearing of the throat anywhere.
Ah, hello. What might you be doing here? Out for a walk, Ah, the youth of my days. Like the scent of fresh lemon, you see.
Mr. Grossberg? This is no time for idle reminiscing! Mr. Edgeworth's trial ends tomorrow!
That's true, yes. But from what I saw of today's trial, Mr. Edgeworth should be fine, right?
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, well, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm not sure.
If you find anything out, come by my office at once. I may be able to offer you some assistance.
Thanks. Bye. What do you think Mr. Grossberg was doing here anyways? Who knows? Alright. Let's head in. We've got some things we can do. First of all, we get to talk to a parrot again, and that is at least something beneficial. Nobody's home. Hello! Hello! Hey, it's Polly! I wonder where your owner's gone, Polly. Hello! Hello! Can't believe he'd run off and leave his poor parrot to fend for herself. Hello! Hello! Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, if he's not here, we can have a look in the safe. That reminds me, Nick. Polly here knows the number to the safe, right? Yeah, that's right. Polly, what's the number to open the safe? 1228. Let's open it, Nick. Come on. I'm sure there isn't any money in there. Aww. But hey, he keeps it locked, right? So there must be something of value in there. I'm not so sure. Okay, Nick, let's see what's in there. I guess there might be a clue or two. The only thing in here is a letter? A letter? Aw, boring. There's no name or signature on this thing. It's handwritten in very precise, clear letters. Get your revenge on Miles Edgeworth. Edgeworth? Nick! Why would Mr. Edgeworth's name be on here? How should I know? I gotta read this whole thing. Get your revenge on Miles Edgeworth. It also says this is your last chance. Now is the time to get revenge on the two men who ruined your life? The rest of the letter goes on to describe the murder plot in detail. How to kill Robert Hammond and frame Edgeworth. Calling Edgeworth out to the lake, getting on the boat, firing twice. This is exactly what I figured out today in court. It's all here, in perfect detail. Okay, that's, okay. What have we learned from the last two cases where we have a vital piece of evidence? Firstly, do not show this to anyone. You will get punched in the face or set on by the mob. So let's not show this to anyone. What do you think it means, Nick? I don't know, but it looks like these are instructions for that caretaker. When he killed Robert Hammond and called out Edgeworth, he was following instructions. But who could have written that letter? And what does it mean to get revenge on Miles Edgeworth? Look, I don't know, okay? But one thing's for certain. This letter is an amazing clue. Okay. Right, well, now that we're taken aback by that, what the hell are we supposed to do elsewhere? Maybe I should take care of Polly, Nick. You probably shouldn't just kidnap her. The police know about her anyway. I'm sure they'll do something. Well, okay. Sorry, Polly. He says I can't take you. Great. Now the bird's going to hate me. Oh, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway. Grossberg did mention that we should probably go and talk to him if we get anything, so... Well, let's do that. Let's check at the Criminal Affairs Department as well while we're out this way. Looks like Detective Gumshoe hasn't gotten back yet. Gumshoe? He won't be coming back today. Oh, really? He said there was some guy he had to arrest by tomorrow. Yeah, the boat shop caretaker. He shouted something about catching him if it's the last thing I do, pal. Good luck, Gumshoe. Yeah, so there's pretty much nothing here. Is Edgeworth in? Yeah, we should probably talk to him. You look as grim as always. Mr. Edgeworth, I heard the story about the class trial. Class trial? What do you mean? You don't remember? No, I don't. Your lunch money was stolen, wasn't it? In 3rd grade? Lunch money? Oh, right. Yes, I seem to remember something like that. Nick, I think you're the only one who really remembers. Well, it probably only really mattered to me anyway. Mr. Edgeworth, didn't you know? That trial was the reason Nick became a defense attorney. Ridiculous. Gee, thanks. That said, it does sound like the kind of thing you'd do. You haven't changed a bit, have you, Wright? So simple. To a fault, even. Well, maybe, yeah, but I think you changed too much, Edgeworth. Wow, is it just me, or is there a lot of sexual tension between these two? We haven't really noticed it up until now, but now that you really stop to think about it, there's a lot. Perhaps. Hey, Edgeworth, why did you become a prosecutor anyway? You used to look up to your dad. You said you wanted to be a defense attorney, right? I couldn't let myself deny reality like you. What do you mean? My father was taken from me, and you want me to defend criminals? I'm sorry, Wright, but I'm not that good of a person. One suspect was apprehended in your father's murder, right? Yes, the man trapped in the elevator with my father. His name was Yanni Yogi. He had to be the shooter, any way you look at it. Yet, he was found innocent. The defense attorney got him off the hook. That would be Robert Hammond. On that day 15 years ago, the three of us were trapped in an elevator for 5 hours. When we were rescued, we all suffered oxygen deprivation. I'd lost all memory of that murder. You lost your memory? Even now, I can't recall what happened in that elevator. That was the crux of Yogi's attorney's argument in court. He claimed Yanni Yogi had been not of sound mind due to oxygen deprivation. Yogi was released due to lack of evidence. Innocent. That's when I changed my mind. I started to hate defense attorneys. But why Von Karma? What's your relationship with Von Karma? He is my teacher, and a man who deserves respect. I learned everything I know from the courtroom techniques from him. So he's like my sister was to you, Nick? He is a perfectionist in all things. In court, in his personal life. He is obsessed with doing everything perfectly. Perfectly, huh? In all the cases he has taken on, none were left unsolved, and no one suspect was declared innocent, ever. But that's... I know. It's possible some of the suspects were indeed innocent. However, it is impossible for us to accurately determine that in every case. All Von Karma does is his job, to find the suspect guilty, perfectly. In any case, it's nigh well impossible to find a weakness in him. Should a weakness appear, he would do everything in his power to make it go away. Edgeworth? If what you're saying is true, you're headed for a guilty sentence tomorrow. He's right! Now's no time to praise the enemy, Mr. Edgeworth! It's a strange situation in which I find myself, I'll admit. Yeah, no kidding. By the way, we want to talk to you about this. Edgeworth, see this letter? This came out of the safe in the shack where the boat rental caretaker lives. I see. Revenge? On me? Who is that old guy anyway? I don't know. Could he be an innocent defendant you got declared guilty or something? Nice, right? But I don't remember that old man. Not at all. So he was following this letter then? Which means there was someone else behind it. Now is the time to get revenge on the two men who ruined your life. He's gotta be Yanni Yogi, and he's gotta claim that it was Robert Hammond and the kid who ruined his life under the guise that they think that Edgeworth killed his father? Oh no, no, that nightmare of a murder. Two men, meaning myself and Robert Hammond. It also says this is your last chance. The statute of limitations on DL6 is 15 years, which just so happens to be the 28th of December this year. Last chance. Wait, maybe he's talking about the statute of limitations on the DL6 incident. Wait, that old man. What is it? Do you know who he is? Yogi. Could he be Yogi? Yogi? The suspect in the DL6 incident, the one who was found innocent. Yes, if it's Yogi. Yanni Yogi was a court bailiff at the time. We just happened to be in that elevator together 15 years ago. Yeah, and then that huge great earthquake came about, and you got trapped in the elevator. The quake was incredibly strong. Before I knew it, everything was dark. We were there for so long it felt like forever. The air thinned, the darkness closed in on us, in that little box. We became unsettled. Help! I can't breathe! Quiet, I said quiet. You're not making this any easier. I want to get out! Help! Get us out! Don't shout, you'll just use up more oxygen. That's all I remember. When I came to, I was in a hospital bed, staring up at the ceiling. In court, Yogi's mental condition was called into question. They claimed the oxygen deprivation and stress had caused temporary insanity. In the end, the claim passed in the court, and Yogi was found innocent. But isn't that strange? This letter tells him to get revenge on Edgeworth. Why would he want to take revenge on you? Right. Yeah? There's something that's been troubling me these last few days. I didn't know whether to tell you or not. You mean the nightmare? Yeah, we remember. It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A memory of a murder. I think the time has come to tell all. For the last 15 years, I've had that same dream almost every night. I wake up in a fearful sweat every time. What kind of dream? It's a dream about my father's killing, in the dark. Help! I can't breathe! Quiet, I said, quiet! You're not making this any easier. I want to get out! Help! Get us out! Don't shout, you'll just use up more oxygen. I can't breathe. You're using up my air! What? Stop breathing my air! I'll stop you! What are you? Stop breathing my air! No! Father! He's attacking Father! Then I see a pistol lying by my feet. I don't know if it was evidence from that day in the court or the bailiffs. In a daze, I picked up the pistol. Get away! Get away from my father! No. You threw a gun and it misfired? And then a scream? And with that scream, I wake. It's a bone-chilling scream. A scream that has rung in my ears for the past 15 years. Edgeworth, you need to go to therapy. Therapy for this, okay? Therapy is important. Go seek counseling. It will help. You have post-traumatic stress disorder over this. But that's just a dream, right? Right? That thought is the only thing that has kept me sane for the last 15 years. But what if I'm wrong? What if it's real? They say that sometimes people shut out memories in self-defense. Yes, in order for the brain to not literally implode, it quite literally dissociates from itself, creating in some instances, almost an entire new personality, an amnesiac barrier, as it were. Maybe it was I who killed my father. What? If you think about it this way, this letter makes sense. Get your revenge on Miles Edgeworth. Think about it. Yogi really was innocent. That's why he wanted revenge against me. Wait, Edgeworth, you mean... It was me. I was the true criminal of DL6. I shot my father. This is bad. What are we going to do, Nick? What can we do? I don't know. I don't think there is anything we can do, like it or not. If there really is someone else who knows a lot about the DL6 incident, then maybe we can pick their brains, but... Well, there is, Nick! There is someone else who knows about DL6. You're right. We can always go to Grossberg. Take care, Edgeworth, and please don't say that out loud anywhere. Mr. Grossberg,
Ah, hello there. What's wrong? You look troubled.
Yeah, no kidding. I can't believe you're not.
But just calm down and tell me what happened,
It's Mr. Edgeworth. He...
I see. So Edgeworth dreamt he shot his own father.
It's only a dream. Only a dream.
I wonder.
But what?
If that is the case, then why do you two look so troubled,
Well...
Also, consider this. Yogi quite certainly holds a deep grudge against Miles Edgeworth. So deep he wanted to frame him for murder. This leads me to summarize that Mr. Edgeworth's dream was not a dream. It was real. As you imagined, Miles Edgeworth threw the pistol to save his father. The pistol fired and the deed was done.
No, I don't believe it.
Yogi was suspected of murder and his career as a bailiff was irrevocably wrecked. Thus he sought revenge on Miles Edgeworth. This was his last chance, of course, with the statute of limitations so close.
What do you know about Edgeworth's father?
He was a defense attorney without peer. It sounds trite, but it's true. Well, he may have had one other peer, now that I think about it. Your mentor, Mia Fey.
My sister?
Gregory Edgeworth was very disapproving of Von Karma's techniques.
Yeah, that's no surprise.
Von Karma is an extreme man. Forging testimonies and evidence are nothing to him. The result, he has a perfect win record in court. To beat him, Gregory Edgeworth tried to call attention to his methods.
And?
Well, he lost, and died in despair, as it were.
I see.
Spirit medium. When Gregory Edgeworth was killed, the police called on a spirit medium. That was your mother, Misty Fey.
I'm Gregory Edgeworth. I have been killed. The one who shot me was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi.
Yet Yogi was found innocent.
That's when my mother left us. Everyone called her a fraud.
Well, that's right. Everyone thought she was, you see. Yet, now that I think about it, it seems the one who lied was Gregory Edgeworth's ghost. Gregory Edgeworth must have known who shot him.
I don't believe it. So you're saying he falsified his testimony? That Edgeworth's dad lied to protect his own son?
It's only a possibility, mind you. But a possibility nonetheless.
Great. Hey, by the way, here's that letter.
Oh, so this is that letter? It does seem that Yogi was following this letter when he killed Hammond.
But why kill Robert Hammond?
Hammond was a skilled defense attorney, but he defended clients for their own sake. Not for their sake, but his own.
Huh? His own sake?
He never trusted his clients, not one. The only thing he trusted was his own ability.
But he got his clients found innocent, so why should it matter?
Actually, my dear, it's quite different. He won that innocent verdict for no one but himself. Yogi was a free man, but socially he was ruined.
Huh?
You'll understand soon enough. Wait.
What is it?
This letter. I've seen this handwriting somewhere before. A long time ago. Whose handwriting was this? Do you have any idea who wrote this?
No idea. Not a clue. Manfred von Karma? Could it be Manfred von Karma? Just a guess? I don't know.
Von Karma? Why would he have something to do with this?
I'm not sure. It's like the only name that comes to mind right now. Recency bias, I guess.
Von Karma. Oh, wait! You're right, my boy! This is Von Karma's handwriting. I'm sure of it. I used to see it all the time on court reports.
What?! But that means that the one who told Mr. Yogi to kill was...
Correct. Manfred von Karma himself.
What does that mean then? Why would von Karma want to frame Edgeworth?
Oh boy, that's not going well.
If it truly was von Karma who wrote this letter, then he would know the truth. He would know that Miles Edgeworth had accidentally killed his own father. He'll say as much tomorrow in court, I should think. He'll press the point until the court finds Miles Edgeworth guilty. But how could von Karma know about Mr. Edgeworth's past like that? Even Mr. Edgeworth thought it was just a nightmare.
That I do not know. Yet I do know that von Karma is both persistent and a perfectionist. He may be seeking to satisfy a grudge against Gregory Edgeworth by hurting his son.
What do you mean?
It was 15 years ago. Von Karma met Gregory Edgeworth in court, and von Karma did win. But he didn't make it through the trial unscathed.
Huh? What happened in the trial between Edgeworth's dad and von Karma then?
Von Karma got the guilty verdict he wanted. He won the trial. But Gregory Edgeworth accused von Karma of faulty evidence. And though he lost the trial, Mr. Edgeworth's accusations stood.
Faulty evidence?
It was the only penalty von Karma has ever received in his career as a prosecutor. Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect record trial.
Wow.
It must have been quite a shock for von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see.
A vacation?
Yes, an unusual event for that man. That was the first and last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting.
Really? He doesn't take vacations? Like, go to the sea or, to the mountains or... Don't tell me he's never been to Europe! You have strange ideas of vacations, Maya.
In any case, that was the only time he took a vacation from work. I believe the penalty upset him quite a lot.
Odd. If he wanted to keep a perfect record so badly, why would he take such a long vacation? What do we do, Nick? Von Karma is going to bring up DL6. You can bet on it. What if Mr. Edgeworth pleads guilty to DL6? I won't let him.
Yes, Mr. Wright. I hate to say this, but even accidental murder is murder, you know.
I know that! I just believe in Edgeworth's innocence, that's all. I can't believe he'd kill someone. But Nick, Mr. Edgeworth admits it himself. His father must have lied to protect him from beyond the grave. I don't care. I know he's not guilty. I know he's not guilty.
Mr. Wright, if you say so, I suppose I could go check again.
You could check again what?
The police files might hold something of interest.
Mr. Grossberg, thank you.
I can't promise anything. In fact, I think the chances of finding something are slim.
Yeah, I understand. The police materials, Yeah. We should probably have a look at those ourselves. One day left, Nick. Yeah, I know. Well, no time to waste. Let's get going. Yeah, we're only stopping by here because it's on the way to the Criminal Affairs Department. There's hardly anyone here. Everyone must be out looking for the old guy. Yogi. Ah, it's you! I don't think Gumshoe will be coming back today. He's staying out late looking for someone. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe is pounding the pavement for real. We were wondering if we could check out the records room again? Well, no, I can't have you just anyone wandering around in there. But, I guess Mr. Von Karma is in there now anyway. You can go in as long as he's in there. Von Karma... Ah, we're too late! Yes, he just arrived, actually. Von Karma's in the records room. Nick, let's hurry! We've got to stop you getting in there. Oh, this is not going to go well. Dusty as always. We were only in here yesterday. I'm sure they just haven't had time to clean. What's wrong, Nick? Nothing. I was just noticing that he isn't here. Von Karma. Huh? One of the drawers here is open. Someone must have been looking into it recently. The label saves unsolved cases evidence. Unsolved cases. Nick! The file for DL6, it's completely empty! What?
What are you doing in here?
Von Karma!
You. How do you know my name?
Huh?
Have we met?
What are you saying? We see each other every day, don't we? We're Miles Edgeworth's defense team.
Defense team? I beg your pardon. You see, I rarely remember defense attorneys. They are like bugs to me. Needless things to be crushed.
Yeah, I can see how this guy was Edgeworth's mentor. Mr. Edgeworth is your student, right?
A romanticist who still can't shed that veneer of amateurism. Just like his father. Always second-rate.
Mr. Von Karma, you had an axe to grind with Mr. Gregory Edgeworth, didn't you?
Me? A grudge against a mere defense attorney? Why?
Because he dealt a blow to your otherwise perfect trial record? So you did. But what I don't get is, why did you take his son under your wing afterwards? The son of your most bitter rival?
That, my dear attorney, is none of your business. Tomorrow will be the last day of this trial. It's been a while since I've had the defense attorney last this long. Still, you will lose in the end. Miles Edgeworth will admit his own guilt. His guilt of 15 years ago, you mean? Ah, you're quite the researcher. If you've done your homework so well, you certainly must understand the situation. You know what Miles Edgeworth will tell the court tomorrow.
Yeah, we were right. So Von Karma is going to bring up the DL6 incident in court. Great. You know what? We were stupid enough to do this twice. Maybe third time's the charm of this being a good idea. Mr. Von Karma, would you have a look at this? This was you, wasn't it? You instructed Yanni Yogi to commit murder.
Yanni Yogi? How many years has it been since I've heard him called by that name? He's a fool. I told him to burn it after he read it.
So you admit it? Please tell us there's a camera somewhere in this room with audio. Please tell us there's a camera with somewhere in this room. You wrote Mr. Yogi that letter?
Yes, my dear defense attorney. Thank you for taking the trouble to bring it to me.
Nope, leave, run now.
You saved me from a lot of needless hassle.
What? Nick, what is that thing? Oh, a stun gun for self-defense, usually.
Indeed. 600,000 volts will course through your body like a dog touching an electric fence.
600,000?
Oh, don't worry. People don't die from it. Usually. Now, give me the letter.
No!
What are you?
Nick, run! Maya!
Out of my way!
Okay, so you know how we pressed our luck on third time's the charm? I think third time was the charm on us actually facing severe punishment. First time we got punched in the face, and that was not too bad. Second time we get threatened by the mob, but nothing happens. Gumshoe's there. Third time we just get tasered. That's not great. Great. He got us. The letter's gone, of course. And he took the DL6 evidence. All of it. Back to having no clues. Wait. Maya jumped first. Maya! Is she okay? Maya! Maya, Come on, open your eyes. Maya. The letter. Did he take it? Huh? Oh, yeah. Are you okay? I couldn't stop him. I jumped as fast as I could, but one shot from that thing knocked me out cold, and I'm useless. I'm no good as a lawyer or a medium. I can't even call my sister. Not even now when we need her the most. I wish I hadn't woken up at all. Oh, Maya, no. Maya! There has to be some way I can help her. I'd better do something about her self-confidence first. Maya, she's holding on to something. What is that? A bullet? DL6 incidents evidence number 7, taken from the heart of Gregory Edgeworth. I remember. Von Karma was holding this when Maya jumped him. Okay. Well, I'll prove it to you, Maya. You're most definitely not useless. I'll prove it to you in court tomorrow. Okay. Everything's gone horribly wrong. But we haven't been declared guilty yet, so that's good. Let's hope it's just that good. Anyway, save your progress. Sure, we should probably save right now. That would be a smart idea to do. Okay, the final day. That's gonna go well. That's just gonna go absolutely perfectly, swimmingly well, obviously. This is it. Judgment Day. Today, things are going to get settled at last. A lot of things. What's the big idea? Sorry, Nick. I only touched your shoulder. I guess the shock hasn't worn off with my run-in with the stun gun yesterday. Anyhow, today's the last day of the trial. Good luck, Nick. Yeah, thanks, Maya. Edgeworth is looking glum as always. I hope Von Karma doesn't push him too hard. What are you doing? Sorry, I'm sorry. I just thought I'd cheer you up with a pat on the back. Maya, maybe you should go outside and discharge. Right, good idea. Try not to electrocute anyone on your way out. What, pal? Oh, what's gotten into that girl? Detective Gumshoe. Morning, Mr. Edgeworth. Good morning. How did it go, Detective? Have no fear. As promised, I've captured our runaway caretaker. I just brought him in. Take all night, pal. Thanks, Detective Gumshoe. You must be tired. Actually, after that shock I got on the way in, I felt pretty good. Yogi says he's forgotten his own name, but that has to be a lie. Why would he want revenge on Edgeworth if he couldn't remember his past? He does remember, and I'm going to prove it.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready. Right, very well. We have reached the final day of proceedings in this trial. I ask that the prosecution submit decisive evidence. Understood.
Come on, don't be awed into silence by every little thing he says.
Very well, Mr. Von Karma. Your opening statement. Right. Thanks to Detective Gumshoe's efforts, the boat rental shop caretaker has been arrested. In yesterday's trial, the defense asserted that the caretaker was the murderer. However, the caretaker has yet to confirm this. I would like to ask the defense to cross-examine him as much as necessary. Very well. Please bring the witness into the court.
Aye up.
Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I believe you all remember our witness. He lives in the boat rental shop from the lake where he witnessed the incident. In addition, he has currently lost memory of his name and identity. Witness, why did you run away from yesterday's court? The witness was not running away, as he will now testify. I see. Very well, please begin your testimony.
Oh boy, this can only go well. Why I left court. I'm really sorry about just leaving yesterday like I did. But I wasn't running away or nothing. I went to buy some food for Polly, see? I figured I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. I mean, I did one of those motive things, right? I don't got one. So my testimony yesterday stands as is.
Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, shall we?
He has to know his name. Yanni Yogi. You're Yanni Yogi and I'm going to prove it. I'm really sorry about leaving. I'd call what you did running away and not just leaving. You heard Larry's testimony and realized you were in danger.
Now, Mr. Wright, there's no need to rush to conclusions. As I said, the witness was not running away. Listen to the testimony.
Yeah, he sure seems relaxed. In fact, they both do. Von Karma and Yanni Yogi. I wasn't running away or nothing. Then why did you leave?
He's just about to say why. Is it so hard for you to just listen quietly when someone is talking?
Yeah, if I sat quietly, Edgeworth would be guilty in 3 minutes. You were buying some food for Polly. Okay. Food? Well, Polly is a bit of a gourmand, you see. She only eats these high-quality bird pellets from France. There's only have them in the best big pet shop in downtown. But you weren't arrested until this morning. Why didn't you go back to the caretaker's shack? I kinda got lost, you see.
The witness has trouble remembering things sometimes. When the police apprehended him, he was on his way back to the shack.
Yeah, right. Nice try, Von Karma. No one's gonna believe that.
I see. So he was lost.
Please, Your Honor, come to your senses. Come on! I figured I got nothing to do with the incident anyhow. You've lost much of your memory, is that correct? I hope. Seems like it. Then how could you know that you didn't have anything to do with this incident? Or maybe you're lying about not having your memory, You know exactly who you are.
The witness has testified quite clearly that he has no memory of who he is. If you're claiming he's lying, then show the court proof.
How am I supposed to prove what's going on in that old codger's head? That's impossible.
I'm glad you've come to your senses, Mr. Wright. Very well, witness. Please continue.
I need one of them motive things and I don't got one. How could you say you have no motive? I say you do. You had a grudge against Mr. Edgeworth and the victim, Robert Hammond. That's why you took revenge on them, right?
Please don't make me repeat myself, Mr. Wright. This witness has no memory of anything beyond several years ago. He cannot hold a grudge. It's impossible.
I have to prove he's lying about his memory. Otherwise, this is going to be the same thing over and over until the trial ends.
Might I say something, Mr. Wright?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
You've been saying the same thing now over and over. You've been calling the witness's memory of the past or lack thereof into question. But does this really have anything to do with the current case?
Of course, Your Honor. The witness has said that he has nothing to do with this case and no motive. Both of these statements are lies.
Order! Order! Mr. Wright, there is a serious problem with your claim. Or are you saying you know who this witness is?
Of course, Your Honor.
Oh, now this is interesting. I would like to know myself. So, who is he?
Don't play dumb, Von Karma.
Mr. Wright, please tell us the name of this witness.
That is Yanni Yogi. His name is Yanni Yogi, a former court bailiff.
Yogi? Well, that name seems familiar. Oh! Yanni Yogi, from the GL6 incident.
He figures the judge would have heard of it. It was such a famous case.
But what does this mean?
Your Honor, if this man is Mr. Yogi, then he has a clear motive.
Jumping to conclusions again, Mr. Wright. This man, this witness, is Yanni Yogi. Fascinating. However, how do you propose to prove this to the court? This is a court of law, as you may recall. You need proof. And allow me to repeat once more that the witness has lost his memory.
This is it. I have to do this now. If I can't prove he's Yogi right here, right now, then I've got nowhere else to go. Nick, how are you going to prove it? How could you prove that he's Yanni Yogi? It's okay. It's actually quite simple. Your Honor, please take this man's fingerprints. Then we'll compare them to the fingerprints on file for Yanni Yogi 15 years ago.
I see. That makes sense.
Huh?
I'm so very sorry, Mr. Wright.
Why?
The witness has no fingerprints.
What? What? No fingerprints? You see, before I worked as a caretaker, I worked at a chemical plant. I burned my fingers working with the stuff. I up. What? Yogi, you sneak! You burned your fingerprints off to hide your past!
Well, if the witness has no fingerprints, I guess we will not be able to prove his identity.
No.
Well, what will you do, Mr. Wright? It seems that the case has been decided, no?
No! I know what happened! I know everything! I just can't prove it. But no, I can't let him end like this. I can't lose this! There has to be another way!
There is no one who can testify as to who this witness is. No one.
Nick, what are we going to do? I didn't even consider that he might have erased his fingerprints. What do I do?
Well, Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to cross-examine his parrot for a little comic relief,
Actually, yes, that's perfect! Yeah, very funny. You're a sore wiener, Von Karma. Wait a second. Cross-examine his parrot? His parrot, named Polly, who tells us that the safe data, or the date on the safe, or the code for the safe is 1228. Well, if only this incident had occurred on December 28th, and Yanni Yogi had a fiancée, Polly Jenkins, who committed suicide after his arrest.
It's almost as if there's something we can prove there.
What is it, Nick? No, you're not going to... Your Honor! The defense would like to take Mr. Von Karma up on his proposal.
Take Mr. Von Karma up? On my proposal?
Exactly, Your Honor. I would like to cross-examine the witness's pet parrot. This is not going to go over well with the judge, is it?
Order! Order! Well, what do you think, Mr. Von Karma? Need you even ask? This is a farce. I object.
Wait a second! You were the one who suggested I cross-examine the parrot, Von Karma. I have a right to do as you suggested.
Well, if you're so desperate, then please be my guest. Of course, should you go through with this, and nothing comes of it, then I hope you're ready for the consequences.
Nick, this is crazy.
Well, still want to go through with your little game?
Yes, because if not, then there's nowhere else to go. I have to do this. Let the parrot take the stand. I will cross-examine her, Your Honor.
This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard.
Von Karma's read every person's testimony, every piece of evidence, except the parrot. She's my last chance. At least, I think so.
Bailiff, bring in the parrot.
Oh boy. This is not gonna go well. But we hope it does. We've got...
That's, well, quite a bird. Please tell us your name. Name! The witness is ignoring me.
It must hurt to be ignored by a bird.
Very well, witness. Who is your owner? Please, testify for us.
Oh boy. How bad is this gonna go?
Hello! Hello!
Certainly the most concise testimony we've had so far. Very well. Begin your cross-examination.
Right. What are you going to do, Nick? I don't know. What do we do, Maya? Well, the only thing we can do is ask it to repeat the phrases. If we can draw some connection there, we'll be fine. Witness, you can't just say hello and expect us to get anywhere. I want you to testify. Maya, you talk to her. Right. What do I say? Have we forgotten something? That would be perfect. As I recall, 2 days ago... Polly, have we forgotten something?
Don't forget the L6!
If I can get Polly to say that here, that will prove that the caretaker had something to do with DL6. Polly, have we forgotten something? No.
Hello!
That's not what you're supposed to say. Forgot. Something we forgot.
Hello!
Oh, it's not working, Nick. She won't say it. This is ridiculous. Why won't she say it?
Something the matter, Mr. Wright?
Wait. Don't tell me Von Karma expected this. He couldn't have retrained the parrot. Could he? Did he train her not to respond when asked if we'd forgotten anything? Damn it. Well, that's our easy option done. Witness, you're here to speak. You must speak to me.
Frankly, I can't believe that you're speaking to the parrot.
Well, I guess we should try to get some information out of her. We need to show the judge that her owner is Mr. Yogi. Yeah. Well, we've got some ideas for connections then. It's a little less concrete, but we can do it. What do you want me to say? What's your name? Maybe I should get her to say her name? Polly, what's your name?
Polly!
Mr. Wright, I think we've established that this parrot is named Polly. Does this have anything to do with her owner's identity?
Of course. Yes, it does.
Fascinating. You claim that the parrot's name will prove her owner's identity? Then show us this proof.
Nick, don't you think you're taking this bluffing a little too far? Listen, we're not here to answer the question of who is the caretaker. We're here to prove that he is Yanni Yogi. All we have to do is tie the name Polly to Yogi. Your Honor, the proof that the parrot's name reveals the caretaker's identity. That's the DL6 file.
Yep. The DL6 case file? That's quite a large file you have there. Which page is this proof on, then? Show us or stop wasting our time. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please show us the page. Where in this file is the information connected to this parrot's name?
That would be the suspect data. It's on the suspect data page. This page has all the information about Yanni Yogi. Right after he was arrested, his fiancée committed suicide, see?
Indeed, it does say that, yes.
What was his fiancée's name?
Polly Jenkins. Polly?
Exactly, Your Honor. He wanted to remember the name of his fiancée who had committed suicide. That's why he named his parrot after her.
I see. I guess that is possible. Pah, a mere coincidence, that's all. My granddaughter has a dog she calls Phoenix. Well, Mr. Phoenix Wright, does that make my granddaughter's fiancée? She's only 7 years old. Indeed. Alone, it is a little weak for evidence in a murder trial. We would need some other corroborating evidence.
Where am I going to find that? Nick, we're getting closer. One more, if we can just get one more piece of evidence. Right, but what?
Very well, witness, you may continue.
No, we've got it. We know what we can do. Right, I want you to say, what's the safe number? Maybe I'll get her to say the number of that safe? Huh? The safe? Why? Let's just try to get her to say anything, okay? Polly, what's the number to the safe in the shack?
1228! 1228!
My, what a reckless parrot! Well, Mr. Wright, you aren't claiming that this number has something to do with the caretaker?
Actually, it does. That's why I had her say it.
Ha! Ridiculous. How can the numbers to a safe tell us who the caretaker is? Show us your proof. What could possibly link this number to the caretaker's true identity?
Well, that would be the DL6 file. Which is unfortunate, because Von Karma's leading us into a trap anyway. He's getting us to present the DL6 case for the thing, so I don't like this. This is not going to go well.
The DL6 file? What is this obsession you have with that case? Mr. Wright, where in this file is something related to that safe number?
That would be the case summary. It's on the case summary page.
The case summary?
Specifically, the date on which the DL6 incident occurred.
The date of the incident? Well, it's December 28. Why, that's today's date, 15 years ago.
And the number on that safe is 1228, or 1228.
Huh?
He used the date of the DL6 incident as the number for his safe, Your Honor. That's how important this date was to him.
I see. It certainly is an interesting coincidence. People often do set their secret numbers to dates. But that is not tangible proof. I set my ATM's card number to 0001 because I'm number 1. This has nothing to do with the date. Nothing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and register a new ATM card with a different number. That's enough! I think we've reached a conclusion here. This is a mere coincidence. That's all. True, that is a possibility. However, 2 coincidences at the same time seem more like a pattern to me. What are you saying? Summon the caretaker of the boat shop. Immediately! Witness, tell us your name. Wait. This witness, he doesn't remember. No, it's okay. I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm done.
Nick, he looks totally different. This is the real Yogi, I think. Finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. acting for 15 years.
Well, let me ask you again. Please state your name for the court.
My name is Yanni Yogi. 15 years ago, I served as a bailiff in this very court.
Order! Order! Yanni Yogi, so it was you who killed Robert Hammond? And tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death?
Yes, it was me. I did it. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond, he said I was mentally unsound. He told me it would make me innocent, get me off the hook. So, I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent, really, but he didn't believe me. We won the trial, but I lost everything. I lost my job, my fiancée, my social standing. Then, this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter and a pistol. The plan was written out in careful details. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on the people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my chance after 15 years. This was it. Finally, a chance to have my revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets.
Oh, wait a moment. Revenge? Against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean?
I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Miles Edgeworth himself, Your Honor? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Okay, now we just need to close this out as quickly as possible.
Von Karma? Where is Mr. Yogi?
Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession.
Then, the defendant Miles Edgeworth is
innocent. In this case, at least.
Very well. Will the defendant please take the stand?
Von Karma's been playing us for fools this whole time.
There are a few unsolved mysteries still left. Still, you are cleared of the suspicion for this particular case. So I would like to pass judgment on the murder of Robert Hammond. Any objections?
None from us. I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything?
Very well. This court finds the defendant, Miles Edgeworth,
not guilty. Yes! Yes! We're done, thank you.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Edgeworth!
Did someone just say objection?
It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, but that means... No. Edgeworth! Your Honor, I object to your judgment.
What do you mean?
I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what? Nick! Edgeworth is trying to confess! He's going to say he's guilty! He's going to tell them he was the murderer in the DL6 incident! He's going to tell them he killed his own dad! What do I do? Raise an objection. The judgment has been passed already! I object to Mr. Edgeworth's outbursts and... Didn't something like this happen yesterday too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed. That would be Larry. We must hear this new statement. We must hear Miles Edgeworth.
He is right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out.
For 15 years, I've had a recurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare. That's what I told myself. But now I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer.
You mean in the incident where your father died?
From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident, it was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me.
Order! Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant declared innocent is confessing to a different crime. A crime for which the statute of limitations ends today. I'm not really sure how we should deal with this. Bah. It's obvious. We hold a trial right here, right now. We try this man for his crime 15 years ago. I think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned.
Oh, great. Of course he wants to force the trial now. There's no evidence anywhere, and he's the one with all of it. Like he's gonna present any of it. I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all of your efforts. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, sir. I mean, you kill your own dad. I didn't want to believe it myself, Detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter the circumstances. This is crazy. Just crazy, pal. Nick? What are you doing? Huh? Oh, I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case? For what? Huh? Wasn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it. In court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. Okay. So, now we're gonna... Okay. This is...
Now then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed to his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, through pointless, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incidents runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections?
No, Your Honor. Von Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you?
Very well. Will Mr. Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession?
Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecuting attorney.
Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is that correct?
It is correct.
Then testify about this matter to the court.
When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key. But only if I can get this to work. Please, please, please. The DL6 incident. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all.
And until now you thought this memory was a dream.
We were all stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in that elevator ran out and I lost my memory of the events.
Bah, the same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Here's the thing. Maybe Gregory Edgeworth didn't know. What if they all lost their memory from that event? If they all lost their memory from that event, then there's no way that he could know. As a result, if his last memory he can think of is Mr. Yogi trying to strangle him, he has to just run with that train of thought. He's dead. Yanni Yogi attacked him. It must have been him. Let's see what this court record currently holds. Is there anything at all that we can present here? Murder weapon. None of these are useful right now. Yes, Your Honor. A DL6 incident. Do we have that image from the DL6 incident right now? Overhead map of Gold Lake. Yeah, I want to check this. There is something very odd. There's a crack in the window. Wait. You've got the bullet. Then what made that hole? Because the bullet was found in his heart. Therefore, it couldn't have gone through. Like, if they'd struggled, his back was against that wall, he got shot and kind of like slumped down to his right and then fell against that wall. Because there's no bloodstain or nothing at that point. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. Press everything. What was the trial your father was involved with on that day? I don't remember things very clearly. Only two things. I know my father lost and Mr. von Karma was the prosecuting attorney.
Mr. von Karma, you were handling that case? It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details.
That was when Edgeworth pointed out the problem in von Karma's evidence. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck. Yep. So there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator? Yes. Myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi. We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help, my father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. What did you do then? I was a 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling in that corner. But then... just then something heavy fell at my feet. What was it? A pistol. I assumed it was the bailiff Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster.
And you picked it up. What happened next?
I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick, I panicked.
So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi?
I was in a daze. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. The gun fired once. Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. The gunshot and that horrible scream. The scream? It was a terrible scream I still remember to this day. To this day? Yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live. There it is! One part of that testimony clearly contradicts the evidence. But I don't know what this means. I better find it out and quick. Yeah. The gunshot is what it is. Picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. The only thing we can present is that. No founds. Trapped in the elevator. Murder weapon was fired twice. Yeah. The murder weapon was fired twice. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came.
I see.
No, Your Honor. Unfortunately, you don't. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony.
You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which page contradicts Mile Edgeworth's testimony?
Let's double check on that, but we believe that it is the victim summary, victim data. Yep, the murder weapon was fired twice. Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly, the murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So who fired the remaining shot?
Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I am sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident, making the second shot the one that killed his father. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident.
What?
I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of these shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that there was other shot fired had something to do with the case?
Yes. There's gotta be something. Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof.
What? Impossible! Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to this incident?
It's gotta be the picture. Look at this photograph.
This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth.
This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time at the incident. This photo proves it.
So let me get this straight. This photograph proves 2 shots were fired. Where?
Your Honor, please, get a clue! Show the judge the contradiction in the photo. Okay, let's do that. It's gotta be right here. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here.
I see a bullet hole in the door.
Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot!
Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at?
It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else.
Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be?
The murderer, of course.
I knew I should have stepped in before you wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page.
The case summary page? Alright.
Look at what is written there. Not a single clue is found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired twice, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door. Order! I will have order! Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. that the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked the second bullet. So all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid we have to discount the defense's claim. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter.
How did this happen? I don't believe the second bullet doesn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick, if the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought the 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. Unless the shot was fired from outside? If 2 shots... Here's the only other thing you've got. Is the idea is that he threw the pistol... He threw the pistol... And then, because of his memory and things, there was a bang and a scream, but they weren't... He was fading in and out of consciousness, so if he threw the pistol and nothing happened, they all pass out. As long as someone else gets... No, because if someone else got the gun, they'd have to open the elevator door, then close it. That doesn't make any sense. I thought there was another person. Someone else who fired that killing shot. But now... was I wrong to think it could be that simple? This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick!
Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask once more thing of Mr. Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objections?
No. No, I do not.
So you killed your father, though that was not your intention?
Yes, I did. Oh no. He's accepted the guilt.
Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone have any objections?
I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There's so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words.
Mr. Wright?
I have an objection, but... Your Honor, I object,
Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object?
Nick, I don't know. This case is perfect. Oh no. It must exist. The second bullet. What? What did you just say? Nothing. The second bullet must exist. But where? Someone took it.
It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright.
Wait, Your Honor! The second bullet. It existed.
What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist.
I realise that, Your Honor, but what we've actually heard is proof that it just wasn't there. That doesn't mean it didn't exist. I'm really grasping here. You had proof of something that didn't exist. It's rough, but it's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened.
But who?
The murderer.
The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer?
I'm still thinking about that one.
So the criminal took the second bullet. But why?
Huh?
First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright.
It hit them. The second bullet hit them. That was the scream that Edgeworth heard. There was someone else, the other side of that elevator door. Just happened to be there.
There was some pressing need for the murderer to search for the bullet.
They didn't need to find it. They just took it in their own. Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? They wouldn't. They haven't got a clue.
What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Bah! The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but that's true.
Had to take it. They had to take it? The murderer... What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I am doing here. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But the murderer had to take that bullet.
Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean?
Well, for instance... For instance, what? Come on, think. Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer?
The bullet hit the murderer?
Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened?
Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murder themselves was shot, and they left with the second bullet still inside of them, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime.
Yes. I guess that's how it would work, yes.
But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Niles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean...
The murderer came from outside, yes. The two men fighting inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges, and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Why did none of them open the elevator door? Or just shot through the bullet hole.
Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it. Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer.
No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick. Huh? I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday?
Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record.
Wow.
It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting.
What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock, but took it because he was injured? Which would mean... It could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Karma. Oh, man.
Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed.
No, Your Honor.
Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect?
Uh-oh. Should I come out and say it now? Say it now. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect.
Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect?
God, my hands are shaking.
What?
Von Karma! Von Karma? Okay.
You mean the Von Karma? The prosecutor? The one standing right over there? Bah. You don't object?
I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason?
So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident? Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I undergo the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify.
Nick! Let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma, perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane. No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. So he still has it? Wait. What does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove I was shot?
Actually, we could. Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much.
What?
The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot happens to be something we borrowed from Detective Gumshoe. Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk undergoing surgery leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it's unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself.
You don't mean...
I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside of Von Karma.
Is that even possible? For all these years?
Well, there is one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find.
I refuse. You refuse? But refusing this means... you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. Order! Order! Order!
Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector.
Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy.
The statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now.
Enough! I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing.
Nick, what does this mean? I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. Come on, please. Something. Notice how I'm pretty sure it's in your right shoulder. Yes, we've got something! Please let it be in your right shoulder that you are so painfully grasping in fear. It reacted. Something's inside his right shoulder! The bullet! Mr. Von Karma? You. It was you!
I was afraid this would happen.
and so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. What? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claimed the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. Okay, well, let's check its marking.
But Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that?
Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is Mr. Wright who must prove something here, not I.
Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6?
Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. That's because you took it all out of the record room yesterday. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were so close. 1 day away from freedom. But you see, I have proof. What? Who would have thought you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof!
That's a bullet? Where did you get that?
This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings? You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago.
Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate.
We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, in Mr. Von Karma. The other Mr. Von Karma is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets. Then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol, in other words. The murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth! Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. Yeah, it's the scream from there. Get away! Get away from my father! It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed.
Mr. Von Karma? Edgeworth, only you would dare defy me!
So, it was you.
You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you. I will bury you with my bare hands. Death! Death!
And he's lost it. 15 years earlier. Chief Prosecutor, I'm sorry. Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time.
Edgeworth!
It was a shock unlike none I had ever known. Me, penalized. It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out into the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, but nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible, burning pain in my shoulder. Just then the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Too much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium blaming Yanni Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge! What? What are you doing? Do your job! Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it.
Very, very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later, Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare.
Yes, Your Honor.
This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty.
We did it! Somehow, we actually did it!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
And all thanks to Maya clinging on to a single bullet. Nick! Nick! We did it! Did you see his face? Von Kammel looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick! Crushed! I gotta say, I'm impressed. It was pretty close, though. I was sure we'd had it. I know. I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory. Yeah, so it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right? Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. I know! Try thank you! I see. Thank you, Wright. You're welcome. I think you could have done a better job than that. Sorry, I'm not good at this sort of thing. You got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. She's got you there. Oh, yeah! Oh, amazing, pal. You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month. But who cares? See, Mr. Edgeworth? You should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. I see.
Whoop!
I feel foolish. Don't worry. Take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey, y'all! Lotta! Y'all were great in there. Thank you. Yo, Edgeworth, congrats. Thank you all very much. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at you. You wouldn't even stick your hand in the cookie jar if no one was looking. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Let's let bygones be bygones, eh? Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? Oh, I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick. Really? That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Huh? It's over, Nick. My life is over! Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick, I'm not long for this world. You don't look sick. It's Keonce. She's gonna live in Paris. In Paris, Nick! She's leaving me behind. Should have seen that coming. Yo, Edgy! There you are! Yes, here I am. Congrats, Edgy! Here, a little gift from me in celebration. Celebration? That's unusual for you. Harry Butts, you come along tonight too. My treat, pal. Huh? Thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? Right? No, I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right. Yeah? What's up? That envelope that Larry gave me, it's got money in it. Well, yeah, I guess it's not that strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? You did do it! Larry! Huh? That's a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. 38 exactly? Nick, wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? $38. No! No! Larry, it was you! What are you so surprised about, Wright? Huh? Larry was absent the day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. What? Think back to that day 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored, so he came into school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right, you may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Yeah, I know! Really, Wright. I'm surprised you didn't figure that out. Sunshine! Salutations! We hope you have found yourself well, and if not, we hope that whatever ails you is easily curable, and if not, then we hope we are at least able to help ease the pain. But yes, Edgeworth is not guilty. He didn't kill Robert Hammond. He didn't kill his father, though he thinks he did. And it turns out that the maniac who did do it kept the bullet in his shoulder for 15 years. At which point I gotta ask you, is carrying a bullet in someone's shoulder for 15 years a good idea? It doesn't seem like it would be, but we don't really know. Well, this sure is an unexpected turn of events, huh? Edgeworth. You should have told me! Now, Nick. It was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. There you have it! Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did! Well, you have always been something of an insufferable emotionalist. Yeah! And you get worked up too easily, too. Death! The death sentence for both of you! Man, if only I'd have known, I'd have become a prosecutor! The same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time, I thought I might have killed my own father. I thought I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If only I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth. Want to switch, right? Hey, y'all! Line up! I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time! Let's go! Then after that, dinner on me. Aw, that's very beautiful. Detective Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom. Even though Edgeworth himself was still in detention. So you just left him? Oh. December 29th. 5:02 a.m. Wow, you spent a long time out that night, huh? I went a little overboard yesterday. Oh, my head. My head hurts. Huh? It's still only 5. I should go back to sleep. Huh? What is this? A letter? Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you, it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium. In training, of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. I wanted to help you. But I couldn't. I was useless. So I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a fully fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. Oh. Goodbye? What time is it? Yeah, the first train to the mountains have already left! To the station. Oh, my, Guess I'm too late. Hey! Nick? Maya! So, you're leaving? Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? Wait! What? I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. Huh? On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister? Yes. Only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, and Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick. But you were the only one who stopped Von Karma, Maya. Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in a daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? Come on, let's do it. The last piece of evidence. The piece of evidence that sealed everything for us. A bullet? Von Karma was convinced he had taken all the evidence pertaining to DL6. But you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma. And you were the one who gave it to me. Thanks, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you. I'll be back soon. Huh? I'm going to complete my training and come back. Okay. I'll be waiting. Of course you will. You can't run that office by yourself. You're hopeless. I don't know about that. Oh boy. So, this is it. See you soon, Maya. Aww. Thanks, Nick. Aww. And so my story ends. Time to turn a new page. And say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins. With the same old crazy cast of characters. Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur.
Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim?
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. Well, would you look at that? Such a fantastic story. And we learn a lot about being a lawyer. Hey, pal. Mr. Edgeworth came down to the precinct to wish me a Happy New Year. Talk about a pleasant surprise. Ooh, Detective Gumshoe! Yeah, then he hung his head low and went right back outside. Kinda like he was embarrassed or something. Strange, huh? Maybe, but he's learning, and he's trying. Yeah, what a very fun time we have had here. And what a colourful cast of characters. Huh? Nick? Nah, haven't seen him lately. Who, me? I've been working at a cheese shop. That Missy's a nice lady, but she's not exactly what you'd call a cheap date. Huh? Oh, she's in Hawaii right now, yeah. Larry, how do you have a way of being always ending up with supermodels who end up just going to Hawaii? That's impressive. Very impressive, but even so.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember him. I heard he's been busy lately. You know, not to ring my own bell, but I sort of taught him everything he knows. I'm sure he's grateful. Who are you again?
Not 100% sure. Fun time. Very fun time. We're not done yet. Oh, Phoenix Wright. The defense attorney for whom I wrote that affidavit for, yes. Oh, you should know. I've taken over management for the Gatewater Hotel recently. Should you be in the area, please stop by. Ah, yes. Who else was there that we've got that wasn't then convicted of something? Will Powers? Grossberg from the second case, yes.
Ahem! Oh, it's you. Phoenix Wright?
Yes, his understudy, was he not? I wonder how he's doing. Haven't seen him of late. The days of my youth, like the scent of fresh lemons. You see. Grossberg? Yeah. Then we'd be looking at Wendy Oldbag, Will Powers, Penny Nichols.
Phoenix Wright? Is he an actor? Well, I'm not buying it. You can't be a star with a name like Phoenix. Did you know that they're putting on all Hammonds on movies in DC? They're selling all bio days.
I can't keep up with her. I have no idea what she was talking about. But hey. Next is...
yeah. I'm pleased to announce The Pink Princess is a hit. I sure owe that Mr. Wright a great deal. I'm keeping my face out of the public eye till the show's over. I wouldn't want to ruin the kids' dreams, you know.
Yes. Was that it? Then there's Penny Nichols. Salmonella might be in there, but he might have been convicted for working on the thing. Penny! Oh, I got a letter from Maya the other day. It sounds like she's caught a cold standing under a waterfall. I wanted to visit, but didn't have time, so I had to send her some Pink Princess trading cards. She says she can't buy them where she is. What kind of place is she living at anyway? Very nice. So let's see. Who would be next? It'd have to be... Cody Hawkins! Right, who's that? You want to talk? Let's talk Pink Princess, alright? But, you know, I snuck into the studio the other day, and I saw her. The one inside the Pink Princess suit. What a dog. It's kind of a shock for a boy at my tender age. Oh, Cody. That is unfortunate to hear. What else have we got, though? Who else was there? Lotta Hart. Yeah, I remember right. That lawyer guy. Me. I'm in training to become a paranormal photographer. You know that picture I took of everyone? Well, just behind them, there's a ghost. For real? Now that's talent. I'm gonna be famous. Really, Lotta? You got a ghost? Well, that would be very interesting to see if you caught a ghost. Are you sure it's not just an artifact on the camera or anything? Mia. Aww. And it's Gumshoe who throws the confetti. Aww. That's wonderful. Well, that has been... holding it! Holding it! What are we holding? A brand new episode has been added. Well, we guess that perhaps then our time with our apprenticeship here is not over, as it seems. We may very well be coming back, so it seems. Let's have a look at this, then. Okay. What? Okay. So we have a knife. 2 murders? What? What is going on here? Or 2 people holding a knife, anyway. What is... Huh? Okay. 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 Well, it's been 2 months since Maya left the office. 2 months without a single trial. I've had offers, but none that I took. That is, until the day that girl showed up. What? Well, February 22nd. It looks like we have some things to go ahead and look at. But that is something that we will go ahead and look into next time. Because for now, well, we're going to go ahead and end things off here. We've had a lot of fun here, and we've certainly learned a lot about what it means to become a lawyer. We hope that you have enjoyed it as well. Thank you very much to those of you who have stopped by. We hope to see you again next time. But for now, well, our name has been Ultrasonic Blur. You have been a wonderful, fantastic audience. We hope you have a very nice evening, and we will see you all next time.